Hi folks, this is Tom. Thanks for joining me here today. We're going to attempt to fire up this Rescue HQ-140X receiver that we picked up. Okay, what we've done already is found there was an issue here DC-wise, or I should say AC-wise. This connection here is loose. And if you go to the other side, you'll see that there's a fuse holder on it. And so what happened is there's no connection between the fuse holder and the AC. So what we've done here is we've jumpered this over, and we're basically going to bypass that and not use the internal fuse here. The reason we can get away with that is right here. We're going to use a variac, and I believe this is on isolation here as well. We have an AC ammeter in here, and we also have a voltmeter. So what we're going to do is, as we slowly ramp this thing up, we're going to check the current to make sure that we're okay. The most important thing here is to make sure we don't have any dead shorts, and this will show it up real quick. And also, there is an electrolytic capacitor here, and the worst thing you can do is take one of these guys here, plug a device into 110 volts AC and fire it up. If you do that, bad things will happen. You can blow the cap. You have to go ahead and reform the plates on it, and that has to be done fairly slowly. You don't just plug it into 110 volts nowadays 120 125 volts AC and expect it to survive. Okay, let's go ahead and we've checked. There's a slight crack in the cord here, but most of the cord is going to be usable. That's probably reusable. One thing I need to point out to you right here is this is where the AC cord comes in, and you'll see there's two capacitors across here. These are 0.01s. They're probably paper foils. They may be silver mica, and what they are is they're bypass capacitors. This is what they used to use on the chassis. This is going to be an issue. I'll show you why later. If this thing fires up, we have a signal generator right here on one of the local AM channels, and what we've done is we have connected up to an antenna here, and on the back of this we just have a lead to one of these antenna terminals, and it's just floating loose. The reason why, there we go. This type of a bypass can actually put a large amount of voltage, 70 volts AC or more, on the chassis. And again, the last thing we want to do is slag a relatively modern signal generator because we put 70 plus volts on it. It's not much current, but again, a lot of solid state equipment does not have a sense of humor. If this were something like an URM25, I wouldn't sweat it quite so much. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks here. Cord, let's me fire this up. Good, we're on 0 volts right now. I'm going to plug this into the variac. What I have here is I have the RCA voltometer, and we're sitting on a 150 volt DC scale here. I'm going to bring that up to 500 volt scale. Oh, crap, where is that coming from? That's our 0 moving around. I must have disturbed something, so we're going to bring that back down to 0 right there. Okay. Here's a dropping resistor. I think they're using that as basically, okay, that's right. I think that's going to a voltage regulator tube there. So this is a dropping resistor. So what we can do is measure across here. What we can do is we can get a rough idea of what kind of DC voltage there is if this thing works. Okay, when you fire these up, if you're going to have a dead short, it'll typically show up in the first 30 volts or so. I had a classic tube type CB I picked up off of eBay, and when I got to 30 volts, we were already pulling full 5 amps current on the thing, and at that point in time, we shut it down, scratched our heads, went through, and we found out it was actually a shorted diode bridge, and after we replaced all those ancient diodes, we went back through and fired it back up again, and it held after that. But this is very important, because the last thing you want to do is to have a dead short here somewhere and pull lots of current through your classic receiver. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to, ouch. Okay, Got a little bit of a shock off that, not much. So what we're going to do is run the voltage up slowly. You can see we're up to about 30 volts. That's holding. I'm going to run it up to about 60. And we should hopefully see some sort of life at that point in time. And guess what? Looks like we have a dial light. Hey, let's go ahead and swing this a little bit. Okay, here we are. So it looks like we've got two dial lights here. I don't see the tubes lighting yet, but oh, hey, we've got B+ here. This is an OC3 voltage regulator. And let's see, OC3, I think, fires at 105 volts. So we got some fairly decent DC there. Let's go ahead and we're going to carefully move this back again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go check the DC side of this right here at this resistor.